Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, I want to talk about something very foundational and very important in mixing in general, not just live audio mixing, but mixing as a whole. And it's something I learned very early in my live audio career. It has helped shape me. So I learned this from an instructor at the time, and the lesson came in form of a question. And the question was this: if you have a mixer that gives you just 4 inputs to mix, and you have a band with lots of inputs, say a drum with about 7, 8, 9 microphones, keyboards, bass guitar, horns, and a bunch of other things, what 4 inputs are you going to prioritize to mix with your mixing console that then gives you the opportunity to maintain the groove and the feel of the whole song as if you're mixing everything? And it's a very important question because it seemed impossible at the start, but it really helped me open my eyes to what the foundation of your mix should be, because this 4 inputs goes on to define the foundation of every mix. And if you can prioritize and make these 4 inputs your foundation, everything else can be built around these 4 inputs. And even if you have a mixing console that's got more than 50 inputs and you're mixing 50 instruments, there are 4 that should be foundational, and everything else should be built around that. That helps you to then not really make something key that's not supposed to be key for you, and then make something that is foundational to be what you're mixing around or complementary. And you just mix your mix to be really unbalanced. So if you can find out what these 4 are, do something, make them your foundation, concentrate on them, get them right, everything else will fall into place because they're all complementary. And I'm trying to make this video practical, and for that I have a mix going with this mixing console here. So this is going to be my debut video for this mixer here, and I have my iPad which I'm using to mix this. Currently I have a multi-track going with 17 inputs. So I've got the kick out. I'm recording on my screen here so you can see what the inputs are. Hopefully you can see it now. So I have the kick out, the kick in, snare top, snare bottom, 1 rack tom, 1 floor tom, 2 overheads left and right, and hi-hat. That's 9 drum microphones. I have the vocal, just 1 vocal. I have a bass guitar. I have 3 horns, so there's a trumpet, an alto sax, and a baritone sax. I've got 2 keys and 1 electric guitar, altogether 17 inputs. Now the song I'll be using for this demonstration is called Contact by Cartwright. I downloaded multi-track from Telephone King Electroacoustic. I talked about them in my previous video, so check them out if you need multi-tracks to use for educational purposes only. And just so to give you a little bit of context, I've thrown together a little mix of all of these inputs, and I'll just let you hear it so we can proceed from there. And I'll put on my headphone for that. Everything is currently muted, and I have the multi-track going up in a very short loop here on this computer. So I'll play it, unmute everything, so you have a feel of how the whole thing sounds. So we'll start by playing. There's a kick out, kick in, snare top, snare bottom, unmute all the drums, the bass, keys, guitar, and then I will mix the horns, the vocal.
Working on a bad mood, working on a new view. By the lake on the sky blue, she built a life unafraid to choose.
So I'll stop this for now. Yes, so that's basically what it wasn't a bad mix. Just put them together quickly before I started shooting this video. And what I want to do is, I want to then, what you just heard with all 17 inputs, I want to try and recreate it using just 4 inputs. It sounds very impossible to do, but this then goes on to show you that there are 4 foundational instruments here that kind of holds or embodies the entire groove within them, and everything else basically are just complementary. So to explain this, I'm not much of a musician, so there are certain terms, musical terms I'm about to use in my explanation that I might not define correctly. So if you're a musician listening to this video and you feel, oh, that's not the right word or the right definition for that, forgive me. It's how I understand the concept and how I want to attempt to explain it. So the first input here, that's the foundation for every mix, is the lead vocal in this situation, or the lead instrument if it's not the vocal if there's no vocalist, or maybe there's a saxophone as a lead instrument, or whatever the lead instrument is, that's going to be number one input. In our case here, Cartwright is our lead vocalist, and she's going to be number one priority for lead vocal, because we want to hear the lyrics of the song, we want to connect to what's being sung, and we don't want to leave her out of the way. And there's something also powerful about the lead vocal using the microphone that's very useful in a live sound situation that will help us. I'll get into that later in the video when I play back the 4 inputs and get to hear it. And the other 3 inputs are what I'll call the 3 foundations of the music other than the lead vocals. So we have the rhythmic element of your music, the harmonic element of your music, and the melodic element of your music. So we want to get rhythm, harmony, and melody to then match with the lead vocal to give us the full music. And our rhythmic element basically determines the tempo of the song, gives us the groove of the song, and it's going to be like a drum element. If you watch my video on miking drums, if you haven't, I'll link it in the description for you to see. I mentioned that if I've got a huge drum set with, say, toms, floor toms, hi-hat, cymbals, and everything, and I've got the opportunity to mic just one, or to throw in just one mic into the drum set, I will definitely use a kick-in microphone, because miking the kick drum is the first thing to consider when you're talking about miking drums in the first place. This is simply because the kick drum carries the energy of the song, of the entire kit, and by extension the music. And if it's missing, no matter how well every other kit sounds, it's like a huge chunk of the music that's missing. So the kick drum is very powerful. The sound of the snare, of the toms, of the cymbals, they are acoustically loud, so you can hear them in the room without having to amplify them. But the kick drum, you barely can hear it in the room without throwing a mic in there. So that's what we're going to do. And so the rhythmic element and the inputs we're going to be considering for rhythm is the kick drum microphone. So number 1 input is the lead vocal. Number 2 input is the kick drum microphone. It's very powerful, and then I will let you listen to it when we get I'm done with my explanation anyway. And then when you move on from the rhythm, the next thing to consider is the harmony. And for harmony, we're going with the bass guitar here. The bass guitar is not just for harmony, and by harmony, it blends the rhythm with the melody. We'll get into the melodic instrument. It also helps the rhythm a lot, because the bass guitar, along with the kick drum sound, define the groove of the song, and it helps like hold the fort in the low end of the song. And then moving forward from the harmonic instrument, we're going to the melodic instrument. Now for the melodic instrument, the instrument you choose to amplify will depend on the style of music or the genre of music you're doing. And for most churches, it's going to be your keyboard, because that's really sets the key of the song, the tone of the song. It's what the lead vocalist sings to. So that handles that part of the song. And helps tie everything together. For some other churches, it's going to be the acoustic guitar, or maybe for some pop or some folk songs or things like that, it's going to be an acoustic guitar. For rock songs and other kind of pop songs, it's usually the electric guitar. But basically, this you need to find out what works for you. For jazz, for example, it might be one of the horns or something like that. But just the instrument that carries the primary melody of the music, that's going to be what we need to consider. When I was mentioning the harmonic instrument and talked about the bass guitar, if you're doing a song like jazz, it might not be bass guitar, it might be the cello, but whatever it is, that is the bass instrument, that's your harmony. So the 4 inputs we're considering are our lead vocal, our rhythm, which is going to be our kick drum, our harmony is going to be our bass guitar, and then our melodic instrument. For the song I just played now, Contact by Cartwright, the melodic instrument we'll use our keys, and then we'll also try out the electric guitar to see how that works, or how well that works. So give you a little bit context again, so you hear how everything sounds unmuted, all 17 inputs. I'll play everything again and let you hear it for a brief moment. Then I'll mute everything except the 4 inputs I just talked about. So it's going to be the kick in. I'm using the kick in rather than the kick out. So the kick in, the bass guitar, the keys, and the vocal. So let's play everything again.
She found a way across the mountains, beyond the high peak. She found love to keep every Thursday night. a bad mood, working on a new view.
So basically that's it. I'll go ahead now and mute everything except the kick in, the vocal. I'll mute the vocal for now and then bring it in later on, because there's something about the vocal that's very similar to how vocal works with live sound that I'll talk about later on. So I'll keep the kick in unmuted, the bass unmuted, mute the horns, and the keys too, which is the primary melody. Keys 1 wasn't really played until the end of the song, and mute the electric guitar. We'll hear it again, just the kick in, the bass, and the keys too, and then I'll throw in the vocal in there as well. Doesn't sound much compared to what the original one was, but when I throw in the vocal there, you'll hear how that sounds and blends everything on. So I'll throw in the vocal in now.
Working on a soul groove, working on the night moves, working on a bad mood, working on a new view. By the lake on the sky blue, she built a life unafraid to choose.
Now, if you listen to everything without the lead vocal, so all three of them, the kick, the bass, and the keyboard, without the vocal, it doesn't sound too much. And when I threw in the vocal there, you couldn't just hear, you could hear not just the vocal, but you could hear a lot of other elements. That's what I wanted to talk about with live sound. So with live situation, you've got lots of things on stage making noise, and the drums, the whole of the drums are on stage. The say the electric guitar, for example, has got a cabinet or an amp blasting on stage as well. If you have a limited a mixer with limited inputs, like 4, like we're talking about now, you can use this to your advantage, because the vocal microphone is set to pick up bleeds from the drum kit, for example, from the horns. You could even hear the horns, the trumpet, the saxophones coming from the lead vocal microphone, and it didn't seem lost as we thought they were going to be, because the vocal microphone was picking them and was also picking the sound of the lead vocalist. There's something to consider, and why I said these 4 things have to be your foundation, or the foundation of your mix, because, for example, the sound of the drum is already in the vocal microphone, the sound of the horns are already in the vocal microphone, the sound of the guitar already in the vocal microphone. If you prioritize these things on their own microphone and make them spend all the time in the world to making them sound the best, and then you then throw in the vocal microphones in there, and imagine if you have multiple vocal microphones as well, it's going to be like everything trying to fight themselves. I don't know if you understand. So ideally, these 4 things I just mentioned are the foundation of every mix, and they've really guided me in being able to create mixes very fast, because the kick drum sounds great, the bass guitar is really great, the keyboard or the primary melody instrument is really great, and the vocal sounds great. Then every other thing can be thrown in there just to complement. Of course, if the snare drum is the 5th thing I'll consider, but obviously we're talking about 4 here. That's all dialed in correctly. The drum overhead has to be great, because they pick up everything before I even think about the tom sounding really great, because the tom is still going to be in the overhead. And everything else just kind of complements, filling pockets of spaces, rather than being the primary thing or trying to stand out. So if you make sure all of these things are great and they sound well, these 4 inputs. I mean, if you have a 4-channel mixer in your house and you think it's of no use because you have lots of inputs, this video should probably just help you. You can throw in the 4-channel mixer, take it anywhere, and then just mic this 4. Keep your vocal channel open to get as much bleed as possible, but in a controlled manner. You should also get away with using 4-channel to mix multiple bands, and should be great. So this is what I thought to share with you, how important it is to define what the foundation for your mix would be. And for me, it's just these 4 instruments: the lead instrument, the primary rhythmic instrument, which is really my kick drum, the primary melodic instrument, which is sometimes might be a guitar, an acoustic guitar, or an electric guitar, or a keyboard most of the time, and the primary harmonic instrument, which is the bass guitar. These are the foundation of your mix, and if you get this right all the time, every other things kind of complement them. They all fill in the space around, and trust me, your mix would be great. If you found value from this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much for sticking around till the end of this video. I'm Kelvin. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.